Naturally, with the surprise that there will be a new top-down 2D Zelda game releasing in just the next couple of months, fans have a lot of questions about the gameplay, about the story, about the mechanics, about the world, and while I certainly have my own set of questions, I wanted to ask the community what their burning questions were, and here they are. I love that sweeping landscape title shot in the trailer so much. It makes my heart hurt a bit thinking that we will probably only see a top-down view for the vast majority of the game. It isn't that I don't appreciate top-down view, but Hyrule just looks so stunningly gorgeous. This crossed my mind as well. I love A Link Between Worlds and Link's Awakening, especially the remake, but that shot, so reminiscent of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, made me long to see this in not a top-down view. Hopefully, at least in some cutscenes, we'll be able to explore it a little bit. One thing I noticed is that in the box art, we see Link with Ganon and both have the same dark energy around them. The burning question for me is, will Zelda have to fight Link at some point in the adventure? I've seen this thought a lot, and I have to say I kind of agree in wondering if this will be a thing. Are we gonna have to fight Link? Now, at the time I'm recording this, we've just learned that apparently Link is confirmed to be playable at some point. I need to reread it again, but to me it wasn't confirmation, but more or less saying, yeah, this is how it used to be. You used to fight through Link with swords and arrows, but now you're fighting with Zelda. But I need to read it again. Maybe it is actually a confirmation. Honestly, will the Bow of Light show up at some point? Zelda has always had a connection to it, so I'm genuinely curious. But I'm so excited for this game. That's a really good question. I know it seems like the point of this game is that we don't use conventional weapons such as bows and arrows and swords, but it is true that that's something that Zelda has been connected with, is that beautiful Bow of Light. So it seems kind of sad that we might not have it at all. There was a shot of both versions of the Zora in the trailer. Will there be some kind of peace agreement with the old Zora so they finally stop attacking everyone they come across? I love that shot, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure at first if there had been a Zelda game where both of them were in it. I believe it was the Oracle games that had both of them, but they don't interact with each other because they're in two totally different types of water. But seeing that shot of both of them out of the water, it does seem to be that there's some sort of peace agreement going on. What will the dungeons be like? How will the echo mechanics affect the puzzle solving and traversal? First of all, I hope there are dungeons. I can't see why there wouldn't be. This seems like the type of game that would totally have the conventional linear dungeons that we're used to, but you know, we could be totally wrong. I do think the echo mechanic is gonna allow for a lot of different ways to solve puzzles. Much like the shrines in Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, this was kind of a thing in Breath of the Wild, but more so in Tears of the Kingdom. There were so many ways to solve the shrines with our arm abilities. Most of the time, I felt like I was solving shrines in ways that it was not intended, but at the same time, you know that the developers kind of planned for that. So I imagine something along those lines is going to be happening here as well. How are Death Mountain and Gerudo Desert both on the west side of the map? That's my main observation because it's never happened before. Gerudo Desert is always the opposite direction of the volcano. Is it even Death Mountain that we see in the trailer? To my recollection, that does seem about right, that Gerudo Desert and Death Mountain are always on opposite sides of the map. But you have a good point, that might not even be Death Mountain. But if this is a totally new map, even if it is similar to A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, then maybe they just decided to put it in a new spot. But that is kind of interesting. I never noticed that they were almost always on opposite sides of the map. Not so much a question, but a thought. I wonder if in the final fight, we will make an echo of Link to fight with us? I've seen a few asking this question, especially with the supposed confirmation of being able to play as Link at some point. Perhaps that's how we will play as Link, is that we make an echo of him. It would be pretty cool if he was fighting with us at the end. Not to the point where he's overly helpful, but you know what I mean. Since the game has Gerudo in it, and it's in the Downfall timeline, where Ganon never appears in his Gerudo form, does that mean we could see another male Gerudo, one who isn't influenced by Demise's curse? Honestly, I do think this one is a little bit far-fetched. I mean, when you look through all of the games and you look at them in timeline order, the whole male being born every 100 years, we only see one Ganondorf, and that's the one in Ocarina of Time, who's also in Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. And for anyone that doesn't know, yes, all three of those are the same exact Ganondorf. Don't know if the Tears of the Kingdom one is the same Ganondorf though. Regardless, we've actually never really seen the whole male Gerudo being born every 100 years played upon that much. Or at all, I think. It's literally just that Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time that we know of. And after that, it kind of feels like the legend disappears a little bit. I guess I could go into it further, but suffice it to say, no, I don't think we're gonna see a male Gerudo. That would be quite the surprise if we did though. Well, those were some of the questions that people in my community have, but if you have other questions about the game, let me know in the comment section below. It's still such a new announcement, yet coming out so soon, that discussions about Echoes of Wisdom just seem to be kind of all over the place. I'm sure in the next few weeks we're gonna get another trailer of some sort or maybe some gameplay footage, but until then, us fans will keep speculating and wondering. If you enjoyed this little video, maybe consider giving it a thumbs up and joining the Geekdom by subscribing. We'd love to have you. Thank you massively to all of those who support the channel via Patreon, especially my champions in the Hylian Knight tier, Joking Batman, Geek Mom, Lorulian Sheep, McToppler, Massimo, and Sören. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.